Ready? Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Bridget Nyland. I'm Vice President of Academic Affairs here at Canisius University, and I want to welcome you all to this important gathering today. Thank you, Congressman Kennedy, and a number of our elected officials. As a Jesuit university, one of our core commitments is serving as a convener. We bring people together, fostering dialogue and promoting space for important conversations about issues that affect our community and our region. It is in this light that it is truly my pleasure to welcome Congressman Tim Kennedy. Thank you.
Thank you, Bridget. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Nyland. Let me just start by thanking Canisius University President Stout, who is not able to join us here today as he's out of town on business, but Vice President Dr. Bridget Nyland for that kind introduction and for graciously hosting us here today. Above us, you'll see dozens of flags from around the world representing the diversity of the City of Good Neighbors and the Canisius family. And behind me, I'm joined by a cross-section of leaders in our community. We have members of organized labor, members of the faith-based community, elected officials, community leaders, students, and advocates alike. People that are brought together in this moment to stand up and fight for a better America. We're united for the protection of our city and our democracy. And we're here to demand an end to the state-sponsored violence the Trump administration has brought to our cities. We're shining a spotlight on the lawless actions of this administration that have led to the murders of two Americans, Renee Nicole Good and Alex Preddy, two beloved community members, one a mom and a poet, the other an ICU nurse at a VA hospital taking care of our veterans, both of whom should be alive today. ICE is not operating as a credible law enforcement agency. Donald Trump and Kristi Noem are using it as a criminal organization to terrorize our communities. We're already seeing that chaos manifest in our own community. Racial profiling, raiding restaurants, arresting roofers and laborers, separating young children from their parents, detaining a local researcher for making a simple mistake any one of us could make, taking a wrong turn onto the Peace Bridge. This has to stop. ICE needs to get out of our cities. ICE needs to get out of our cities now. Kristi Noem is in charge of this out-of-control rogue government force. She's unfit for public office and continues to prove every single day that she is unqualified for this position and should have never been confirmed in the first place. I've called for her resignation, and if she doesn't resign, we will impeach her. While my Democratic colleagues and I are working to impeach Kristi Noem and stop this madness, we can also fight back at the local level. I want to thank Mayor Ryan for taking action this week to ensure local resources in the city of Buffalo aren't being wasted on civil warrants for law-abiding, hard-working immigrants. We know our city's population is stabilized after decades of decline because we've welcomed immigrants and refugees as new Americans and our neighbors here in the City of Good Neighbors, the great city of Buffalo, and the Western New York region. These new Americans have helped breathe new life and new energy and vibrancy into communities all across America that are now being terrorized by this administration. President Trump promised to go after the worst of the worst. And now we see his real objective: violence and mass chaos, occupying our cities with lawless, masked agents who are violating civil rights, human rights, and the Constitution itself with total impunity. The American people have rejected the violent and dangerous tactics of ICE. We stand here, united, demanding an end to the fear, to the shootings, to the masked abductions. Under President Trump and Kristi Noem, there is no accountability, no leadership, and no rules. And the result is violence, fear, and instability in our communities. We are demanding that our government uphold the Constitution. Each one of us has a right to organize, to protest, and to speak out without being shot.
Right. That's right.
And no one is above the law. Not a masked man with a gun, not the Secretary of Homeland Security, and contrary to what he might believe, not even the President of the United States.
That's right.
Our greatest strength has always been our diversity. We're a nation that reinvents itself with every generation of new Americans. Our community has seen pain before. Our original sin of slavery, repression in the Jim Crow South, the struggle of the women's suffrage movement, the victories and defeats of the civil rights movement all across our country. Each time we grow stronger and we get more closer to the most perfect union that was promised us by our forefathers and mothers. This is our moment in history. This is us standing up and saying, we love our country too much to let it fail. We love our country too much to let it go down without a fight. We must have accountability and justice, and that starts by impeaching Kristi Noem. With that, I'd like to introduce my great friend and a great friend of the city of Buffalo, our community, our state, and our nation, the president of the Buffalo branch of the NAACP, Pastor Mark Blue. Pastor? Thank you, brother.
I want to thank Congressman Kennedy for having this press conference, and I want to thank each and every one of you, my brothers and sisters. I don't know if you have seen the movie Roots. Roots gave a good depiction of history of America. When our ancestors came here, they wanted to come to a nation with opportunity. But instead, we're seeing people pulled out of cars, pulled from their homes, shot, because they came to this country of opportunity. One thing that I realize is that we all came here, our ancestors, some on top of the ship and some in the bottom of the ship. But there was still a ship that got us here. We are in no way able to say you're not here because you are an immigrant. We are all immigrants. And if President Trump wants to start taking immigrants out of the country, start in your own home. All of your wives and children came from someplace else. One thing that we need to do, and that was my personal privilege. Let me give you the NAACP. The NAACP, we launched a dry ice campaign, an urgent national effort calling for the United States Senate to reject any budget measure that extends additional federal funding to the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE. In the wake of the violence, chaos, and fear unleashed by weaponizing the enforcement apparatus, the NAACP is demanding that the United States Senate stop any effort to extend additional federal funding. And that's straight from our president, Derek Johnson. Our communities have been forced to endure harm, chaos, fear at the hands of a weaponized agency that too often operates without transparency and accountability. Congress must not bankroll terror in the name of enforcement. The Dry Ice campaign launches with a clear, immediate objective: block ICE funding now.
That's right.
The campaign will mobilize supporters nationwide for the NAACP. We will activate our 2,200 units and branches to represent us in this forum. We need to get ICE out of our cities, because we have now released the KKK on America. It's time for us to stand up and exercise our right. We have a right to protest, but we don't have a right to get killed by any individual who feels that they are above the law. ICE is acting above the law and above the Constitution of the United States. This president has obliterated the Constitution to his own will, to do what he wanted to do. But America, it's time for us to take back. It's time for us to let him know, along with Ms. Noem, that you both can be impeached. God bless.
Thank you very much, Pastor Mark Blue. Next, organized labor has been the heartbeat of our community, our state, and our nation, and stands up and fights for working class Americans all across this great country. I'm honored to be joined by so many forces in organized labor here in Western New York, including 1199 SEIU. We're going to hear from Shamika Burnett Matthews to say a few words. Thank you so much, Shamika.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you again, Congressman, for inviting us to attend this press conference with you. We are here to stand in unity with not only our labor brothers and sisters, our elected officials, and community leaders to call for justice and show solidarity. The United States of America, the land of the free, the home of the brave, despite what the Trump administration says. We now have nurses on strike in New York City demanding a contract that ensures nurse and patient safety. What does that mean? Why are we fighting for patient and nurse safety? During this difficult time for healthcare workers all across the United States, we had a nurse gunned down who was exercising his freedom, his rights. He didn't commit any crimes. We shouldn't have to discuss the unfortunate tragic incidents taking place across our country. Alex, most recently, VA, ICU nurse, union member, and public servant, taking care of the most vulnerable population. Amongst 30 plus others who have been violently harmed or killed, to include Renee Good as well. Violence and murder at the hands of our government. Yes, you heard me, the hands of our government. This has been initiated by the Trump administration. Why? Because he feels he's a king. We have no kings in America.
That's right.
This is not what democracy looks like. This is not the first, and it won't be the last press conference that you will see us all standing together. We are calling on all of our elected officials, despite whether you are Democrat or Republican. We are talking about human rights. Recently, these events are showing that the president's actions are not only unlawful, they are unacceptable. Moving forward, we will stand together. We will not back down. President Trump, this is not what democracy looks like.
Once again, I want to thank all of my colleagues in government, all of this extraordinary cross-section of our community, students for joining us here today, law enforcement for being out here with us and standing with us today, protecting us and our community and fighting for what's right here in our great country. It starts in organized efforts like this, speaking truth to power, letting the leaders of our country, the president and the Secretary of Homeland Security, know that we deserve, the people of America deserve, better than what they're giving us.
That's right.
Better than the human rights and the civil rights and the Constitution violations that they're bringing forward to us each and every day. It's wrong, it's unacceptable, and America is better than this. And so we stand together united, and we are calling for the impeachment of Secretary Kristi Noem. I'm open to any questions you may have.
Congressman, you're calling for the impeachment for Secretary Noem. What are you and your colleagues doing, to make that happen on Capitol Hill? Are you prepared to file articles of impeachment? And furthermore, what are you doing to change immigration laws in Congress?
Yeah, well, we already have filed we've already filed impeachment notifications for Kristi Noem. I signed on to a piece of legislation. I was an original co-sponsor. We have over 150 co-sponsors in the Democratic caucus already to a piece of legislation that will, in fact, impeach Kristi Noem. And we will win this fight. And we will do so in bipartisan fashion. Just like we won the fight to release the Epstein files, we're going to win the fight to impeach Kristi Noem if she doesn't do the right thing by the American people and resign. Now, we all know that we need full, comprehensive immigration reform. We know that that needs to happen in this country. The fact of the matter is, what Donald Trump and Kristi Noem and Steve Miller and Tom Homan and Greg Bovino and Todd Lyons have done is they have unleashed chaos and cruelty across this country that's manifested in our cities, like we've seen in the murders of Renee Nicole Good and Alex Preddy in Minneapolis just this past month. As a matter of fact, in this past month, more people have died in ICE custody than at any time in the last 20 years. Think about that. Think about that. This administration is totally out of control, and they need to be reined in. We need comprehensive immigration reform, but it starts at the top, and it starts by removing the leadership that is perpetrating these injustices, these cruelties, this unaccountability every single day on the American people.
Congressman, are you aware of any ICE activity here in Western New York that is of concern to you or other leaders here?
Yeah, I mean, certainly. I mean, look, ICE has raided restaurants. They have held people, researchers that made a wrong turn crossing the Peace Bridge and haven't been let back in. We know that they have just begun here in Western New York, and we're saying, don't come here. ICE, you're not welcome here. In Buffalo, you're not welcome in cities across this country, and you're not welcome in America. The injustices that you've perpetrated on the people of this country are absolutely unacceptable. They're wrong, and quite frankly, they're breaking the law every single day. They are breaking the Constitution that they have been sworn to uphold. They are not even trained appropriately. So they are an out-of-control, rogue, masked-up, secret federal police force of Donald Trump that's invading our cities, and they're not welcome here.
But what are you doing to actually stop them from coming in? I mean, you can say don't come here all day long, but they're federal jurisdiction. They're still coming. What are you actually doing to prevent them from coming here?
Well, I think the executive order that the mayor of the city of Buffalo signed this week was very welcome news by the people of the city of
But that's
Buffalo,
not stopping them
the
from operating
city
in
of
the
good
city,
neighbors. When we know that the federal government is out of control and is going to try to force their out-of-control federal agency down our throats, we're going to stand up and we're going to say they're not welcome here. It starts that. We have to speak truth to power. At the same time, myself and my Democratic colleagues voted against the Department of Homeland Security funding bill just last week. You see the Democrats in the United States Senate, and now, thankfully, some Republicans that have woken up because of the murders of these U.S. citizens in Minneapolis and are saying they're going to separate the bills in the U.S. Senate before they come back to the House. So we are fighting back. We're demanding better for this country, and we're saying wholeheartedly as a community that they're not welcome here.
Are you worried it could get violent, that somebody could get killed here? Is that why we're...
Of course we are. The violence is everywhere in America that ICE shows up. They're out of control. They're rogue. They're masked up. They're not following the law. They're a lawless, rogue agency that is hurting the American people, that is disregarding their civil rights, their human rights, and their constitutional rights to free speech, their Fourth Amendment rights, their rights across the board. The Constitution is being violated every single day by an out-of-control administration who, by the way, is lying to the American people in telling us all that that we're not seeing what it is that we're seeing with our own eyes.
Congressman, do you think there eventually will be a need, though, to lower the rhetoric? I mean, I'm not hearing anything super divisive here, but we've heard Nazi. The district attorney in Philadelphia yesterday, we will hunt them down like we did the Nazis. Does that help on both sides? And we know President Trump has said certain things that, really are violent sounding too. Would you like to see a lowering of the rhetoric on Capitol Hill emanating from Washington to try to come to some resolutions here and discussions as opposed to just spewing violence and claims?
Look at political violence is absolutely wrong, unacceptable, and is never appropriate anywhere in America. We denounce political violence at every turn. And when that violence is being perpetrated upon us as the American people, the taxpayers who pay the bills for these ICE agents who are masked up and gunned up and armed with AR-15s and their pistols, their semi-automatics, and their pepper spray that they're spraying into crowds and into kids and pushing people down and then shooting them in cold blood in the street, and then they're lying to us, this administration, telling us that we didn't just see what we saw caught on videotape. Come on.
It sounds like you're saying
That's wrong. It's wrong, and it's unacceptable, and the people of America deserve better from our government. This is our government. And so we stand together united as a country, demanding better from Donald Trump and his administration and what they are perpetrating, these injustices upon the American people.
Should the rhetoric, though, be lowered? Will Homeland's mission accomplish anything in your opinion?
Look at what we're doing is we're standing up for human rights, we're standing up for civil rights, we're standing up for the Constitution of the United States of America. And we, together as a people, as a community, as a state, and as a nation, are demanding better from our government and this administration. What we need to do right now is, through this legislative process, we need to impeach Kristi Noem. We need to put forward legislation that ensures that the law is followed every single day, that the injustices that are being perpetrated upon the American people every single day, in broad daylight, across America and cities just like ours, needs to end.
Is Homeland's mission a sincere effort to try to resolve the issue? That's what I'm
I mean, you
getting at.
tell me. I think Tom Homan's a bad guy. I think Tom Homan's full of it, and I think Tom Homan is as nasty as Kristi Noem, as Todd Lyons, as Greg Bovino, and as Donald Trump himself. And I think that that he is absolutely the wrong person to even be in that position. And now that the president has removed Greg Bovino and Todd Lyons and Kristi Noem out of what's happening in Minneapolis, and he's inserted Todd Homan, it's all on Todd Homan. And we're going to hold him accountable as well. And let's see, time will tell whether Tom Homan is the right guy to go into Minneapolis and quell the storm that ICE in this administration has created.
Congressman, you've stressed the importance of having a voice with everything going on, right? We've seen protests here. There will be future protests. We look what happened to Alex Preddy. He was killed during a protest. What is your office doing? What are other local elected officials doing to protect the people that are out there protesting?
Well, first and foremost, the people of America have a constitutional right to freedom of speech, to protest. And I want to thank again law enforcement that's here today. The Buffalo Police Department does a wonderful job protecting the peaceful protesters in our community that are doing the right thing. And right now what we're seeing is a federal agency, out of control, rogue, masked up, secret government agency going into communities, rolling over the local law enforcement that you've seen the chief of police in Minneapolis speak out against. and they're running over people's constitutional rights. And that's why we are standing here together. We're standing here together as a community from a cross-section of our community with law enforcement saying that this out-of-control federal agency needs to end in every way that it's perpetrating injustices upon the American people.
Protecting the protesters. Who? To prevent a death from happening here, Congressman.
Well, what we are seeing right now, once again, is that peaceful protesters are able to exercise their constitutional right to freedom of speech and protest. And when we have peaceful protesters in the streets, that they are protected by our local law enforcement.
Any other questions?
Is there a real hope that there's an upcoming vote that's going to hopefully prevent partial government shutdown? But tied to that is DHS funding. Is there a real hope that that DHS funding portion of it is going to get split off into a separate?
Yeah, I'm hopeful. We were able to accomplish that in the House of Representatives. We split off the DHS bill from the 5 other bills, which is why we were able to vote no on the DHS bill funding for ICE and other agencies that are perpetrating these injustices across our country. The 5 other bills passed. We expect that the U.S. Senate will do the same thing, separate the DHS bill, because what the Republicans did is that they tied them together when they sent them over to the Senate. That was before the death of Alex Preddy. And now I believe they're regretting that decision as it's over in the U.S. Senate. So the Senate Democrats are working to decouple that bill from DHS, pass the 5 other bills that there's continuity and agreement on to fund our government and to put in place reforms and push forward a DHS bill that is separate from all of the other bills.
And what kind of reforms would those be to the DHS?
Well, that's up for discussion right now, and that's what they're deliberating right now.
Thank you, everybody.
The answer isn't ICE.
Well, do we have any other questions from the press?
What is the
Alright.
answer for?
We're just taking questions from the
Buffalo and
Adam.
lots of New York that has an invasion of elites. If ICE isn't there.
We are a welcoming community here in Buffalo in Western New York. We are the city and community of good neighbors. We welcome new Americans. We welcome new immigrants. They are the breadth and depth of who we are as a community. For the first time in 70 years, we've seen our population grow because of new Americans, new immigrant population that's helping to grow our economy, grow businesses, become acclimated into our community, make the diversity of our community our strength. And it's not just who we are as a Western New York community, but it's who we are as a nation. We are a community of immigrants. We are a nation of immigrants. And those immigrants deserve and are protected under the same Constitution that we are as U.S. citizens.
Congressman, I know that after the death of Alex Preddy, we started to see more people on the other side of the aisle, the Republicans, starting to condemn the actions of ICE. Are you hoping to hear more of that from the local delegation of Republicans?
Certainly.
Or, what have you heard?
This should not be a partisan issue. This is an American issue. And you know what? When we are seeing across this country, Democrats being the only ones that are standing up and fighting for the American people, fighting against this rogue, secret, government, out of control agency that's hurting the American people and violating constitutional rights on a daily basis, it's really disheartening. Which, it takes the death of 2 U.S. citizens in the matter of weeks for some of my Republican colleagues to wake up and even question this administration. That's what's disheartening. But hopefully, it's a sign of better days to come. And Republicans in Congress and in the House and in the Senate doing the right thing by the American people.
Have you heard anything from either, Penny or Langworthy or anything?
I have not. You'll have to talk to them.
We reported today that ICE is continuing to arrest asylum seekers who are here, in the country legally. These are people who are showing up at mandated check-in appointments at the ICE office at 250 Delaware and other
Terrible.
offices and being arrested there. Is there anything legislatively you could do to protect asylum seekers?
Well, first of all, what they're doing is wrong. They're arresting people that are showing up for their pre-scheduled recertification of their temporary protective status and green cards, putting them in handcuffs and deporting them. And they're not just doing it here. They're doing it all across this country. It is wrong and it's unacceptable. And that's why this administration needs to be called out. Because Donald Trump promised us that he was going to go after the worst of the worst. Remember that? Well, guess what? He lied to us. That's right. And nobody should be surprised. And they continue to lie to us. And now, instead of going after the worst of the worst, you know what they're doing? They have turned their sights on the immigrant community and the American people.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you all. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for standing up.
Reverend. Yes, sir. How are you? Good, good. Good job. Yes, sir.